Hey guys, Rich Lopez with the Drop Time Traditions podcast. I'm not even going to get into what episode it is because I've lost count. I think we're at about 100. I think this one, Roger, is going to be 106, number 166. So,
That's great.
folks, my guest this evening is Mr. Roger Norris of Traditional Woodsman, but it's also the Fixed Hunting Co. brand. Am I correct?
Yeah, you've got that right. We started Traditional Woodsman quite a while ago. Sort of as a blog, and we started doing a few things. But then my son Danny and Danny's the brainchild behind Fixed Hunting Co. And we formed that company. We made Traditional Woodsman a brand name of Fixed Hunting Co. And so we're moving forward from there. But yeah, that's it.
Okay, excellent. So before we get into the nitty gritty, I just want to recognize our supporters here, which is, of course, I've got trifocals on and then readers on top of that. So I'm going like this. That's great getting old, folks.
Hey,
Stickbow Country Custom Arrows, Traps Feather Rests, Traditional Bowhunter Magazine, Sauk Trail Archery, StickbowSupplies.com, Whiskey City Trad Gear or WCTrad.com, Jessie Savage Blacksmith.com, traditionaljunk.com. If you need an old bow or a vintage, classic vintage one, reach out to Kevin over there. St. Joe River Bow Company, theethicalpredator.com, and lastly, stickbowhuntsmx.com, of which I've had the pleasure and honor of hunting there twice. I love it. I can't get
it's a
enough
great
of
list.
old Mexico, man. Let me tell you, it's beautiful.
Nice.
I found out that Durango, Mexico is known. It's called the Mexico Hollywood, Mexican Hollywood, because a lot of the westerns that John Wayne did
Ah,
and Clint Eastwood, they were filmed in
oh yeah.
Durango.
Okay.
So, yeah, so
Yeah,
it's known for
that's
that.
pretty neat.
Yep.
I spent a lot of time watching those movies for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, Roger, give us a little background. Born, raised.
Born here in Michigan, raised here all my life. But just a yeah, not very exciting life. Went in the army right out after high school. Uh, Kind of met my wife about the same time, and we've been married 40 years. We've got three kids, five grandkids, two more on the way, and
Wow.
just uh, just kind of a Michigander because I was born here, and it's a lot of fun. So.
And I guarantee you like Ted Nugent and Bob Seger.
Well, yeah, been to a lot of Bob Seger concerts, and he's one of those albums we put on the boat every night when we're out there. But
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. And Ted Nugent's been quite an influence here in Michigan for
He's
sure.
been
Absolutely.
quite an influence everywhere. It's just, I mean,
Yeah,
I knew him since I was a kid. I mean, I saw him when I was 15 years old, but
yeah.
I lived in Maryland for many years, so we made him a life member of the Maryland Bowhunter Society
Oh
in
wow,
Maryland.
that's great.
And when he came to perform in Baltimore, he sent 10 tickets out for us to
Oh
go.
wow.
Me and the I guess the councilman, if you will. And so it was
Yeah.
very interesting to meet him backstage and drink orange juice and eat what the heck we have cobblers. Yeah, we ate cobblers and drank orange juice and just talked bow hunting. It was just he was just a regular dude.
We just saw him up at the Fred Bear with the bronze statue
Mhm.
that they inaugurated up in Grayling, Michigan, and Ted was there. He was just a regular gentleman. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. So how were you introduced into hunting or bow hunting for that matter?
Well, it's kind of the same thing for me. I come from a hunting family. My dad and all my uncles and cousins, everybody hunted. Um, I was given a bow before I was ever given a gun, so I
Mhm.
started shooting archery very young, like 5 or 6. My dad was a tremendous bow shooter. He wasn't a very good bow hunter, but he was a great bow shooter. Um, and he was kind of infatuated with the whole movement at that time, like 1968 time of Fred Bear and all. And we spent a lot of time up in Grayling. So it just kind of is in my DNA. I just have always done it.
So when you were at Grayling, did you visit the pizzeria, the Bear's Den Pizzeria?
When I was a kid, it wasn't there. I don't think, but we were up there so much. I spent my grandfather had property up near there, and I spent most summers up there. So we were we called it Bear Mountain then, but went there at least twice a summer and hung out and saw the videos and just walked around and touched stuff. It was great.
That's awesome. Now, being that you went up to Grayling and you went to Fred Bear Day, I mean, I'm flip flopping around here, but it just
Sure.
stuff pops in my head, and I got to ask the question while it's fresh. Uh, are you a collector of bear archery memorabilia?
I am not. Um, but I am a collector of what Fred Bear's done for archery in Michigan. When I was a little boy, a lot of guys played Cowboys and Indians. I played Fred Bear,
Okay.
right? Um, so no, I don't have a lot of my memorabilia. My dear friend here in Michigan, Tom Jenkins, is probably one of the better bear collectors ever. Um, but I enjoy seeing it, but I don't have much of it. I have a few things, but
I
I
was
have my
fortunate.
all my dad's old bows from that time area.
Okay, great. I was fortunate to interview Tom.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, he's wonderful.
yeah, he was wonderful
Yeah,
because before I started this podcast, I took this podcast to YouTube 6 months ago, 7 months ago. Prior to that, it was on Spotify. So that's where his interview is. But every
okay.
week I drop this YouTube, I drop it in YouTube, and I also put it on Spotify. So that way the people that like to drive and just listen, they have
Yeah,
that
that's me
option.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of time to video watch since I work. My office is right next to what's going on here. So
Sure. Yeah,
I hit play and I just go to work. So
that's beautiful. Yep.
so that being said, I want tell us more about your company. Is that your
Well,
full-time
so
gig?
no, it's not. No, no.
Okay.
My son and I have a small. We sell wire and cable for a living.
Okay.
We do that by day, and then I started traditional woodsman back in like 2006, I guess. And it was really just kind of a glorified blog. And I had my friend Fred Asbell. He was editing some. I'd write articles, and he'd edit them, and I'd put them up there, and people would like it or not, and it was fun, you know. And then I kind of slowly started selling a few things, and a lot of it was Asbell wool. I'd sell that kind of product. Um, but it never really went anywhere. It was just fun. You know, I'd have a booth at the GLLI or something once in a while and make enough money for a hunt sort of thing.
Hmm.
My son getting involved, and that's where the Fixed Hunting Co. came from. He works a lot harder than I do, so
He's got more
he's
energy.
he's got some cool. He does, man, and he's got some great products, and he's brilliant, and he's really brought our website a long ways. Um, we've got some cool things for sale, and I don't believe it'll ever be our day job, but
Mhm.
it's a really fun kind of a hobby job,
Yeah.
and it's fun. So
Yeah, I refinish and refurbish vintage bows and things of that nature. So that's what I do when I'm not doing this or doing some my full-time gig. I'm in the shop working.
yeah, I just mentioned your name to somebody, a guy named Ray Lyon the other day, and
Oh yeah.
he told me about you redoing the vintage bows and what a great job you do. That's fantastic.
I haven't spoken to Ray in almost 20 years.
Yeah, he's one of my good friends. We
Okay, well, I still
one of
got
my
his
True
number.
Haven buddies, right? Yeah.
Well, it's funny as I'm looking here. This is my old address book from I've had this since I was probably 20. I'm 60, going
Wow.
to be 66, but Ray's phone number is in here. I'm going to give him a call
You should.
and
Yeah.
just to say, "Hey man, how's it feel getting
Yeah.
older?"
Yeah. So that's that's happening for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been on your website a lot actually, and you've got some great stuff on there.
Thank you.
Tell people what's your line? What do you guys offer?
Yeah, right now the highlight of the website is the Bighorn Legacy recurve
Hmm.
that we got together with Teresa Asbell after Fred passed away, and we had the guys at Shrewbows make it for us. We basically took um, the Bighorn bow that Fred made back in, I think it's 82. It's the bow that I shot at Compton for the memorial arrow for Fred. And we gave that bow to the Shrew guys, Henry Bodnick and Tim Cosgrove, and we had them just duplicate it. And the instructions were duplicated exactly. Don't use modern materials to make it better. Don't
Right.
just duplicate it. So it's one bow. It's a 64-inch, full size recurve. It's a great shooting bow. We've sold, I don't know, I guess about 40 of them right now. We got orders happening right now, and it's a lot of fun, and it's really just it's kind of between me and Teresa Asbell. It's just a memorial of her husband and my friend is really what it is.
Well,
Um,
I have a picture of Fred around here somewhere. I have so much stuff here. Where'd it
yeah,
go? Here it is. I want to show it to you. He sent me this when I was probably about 25, maybe
No
30.
kidding. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah, it's one of my
that's
prized
great.
possessions. Yeah.
And that's on the cover of one of his books there.
Yes, it is.
The instinctive shooting books. Yeah.
I was fortunate
Okay.
enough. I'm a lefty. Being a southpaw, it's kind of hard to come by bows anymore.
Sure.
Um, I was fortunate to come by a one piece bighorn that he made and it was only
Nice.
45 pounds.
Right.
And he was like, I can't believe you found this. I said, yeah. I showed it to him at Denton Hill and he signed it. And I was like, yeah, I
Oh,
did.
that's beautiful.
It was like I found it by complete accident.
Oh, wow.
It's a
That's really cool.
so
Yeah.
another bighorn story and Fred story is I shot compounds for years in the 80s, early 80s, and I saw the traditional craze really creeping in. I said,
Right.
man, I want to get one of these bows because I just love. I still my first bow was a recurve, semi long, semi recurve, and then
Hmm.
of course, like everybody else, went to the compound. Well, back in the early 80s, there was nobody to teach you that you don't need to buy a 65-pound bow.
Right.
Well, I didn't know any better, and I bought a 63-pound bighorn takedown.
Yep. Yep.
And I developed so many issues, target panic, you name it, because it was too heavy of a bow for me. Um,
Sure.
and I didn't understand, but now at my old age, I was like, wow, it took me this long to figure it out. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
I
I get it.
gotta,
Yeah, no, that's cool.
I was looking at the legacy bows on there, and I handled them at the Indianapolis PBS gathering,
Sure. Yeah.
and they are absolutely beautiful. I mean, some guys are
Yeah.
hot and
Thank you.
hairy for the black micarta with the black and white. Is that ebony?
The
Black and white
ebony.
ebony?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
And then,
Ebony.
but
Yeah.
I'm partial to reds and browns, so I fell in love with the Shedua.
Yeah. We agree on that. That's my favorite version of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
you can expect an order from me for a 35 or 40 pounder. So
Thank you. That's great. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, so
Um,
that's the centerpiece of our what we sell.
mhm,
But we've also, Teresa Asbell sews up a product called the Sling Pack for us.
mhm.
Um, and it's something she and I kind of designed when I went on a turkey hunt. I don't mean to say we invented sling packs, right? They've been around forever, but I wanted one that I could put a turkey decoy in and have my calls and just have everything handy and accessible. Um, and it kind of went from there. She built me two or three of them that we tested really hard and landed on what we sell now. And it's a pretty cool product. It's we use it every day. We've got our tracker knives on there. My son's created something called the Cluck Puck, which is a holder for your turkey calls.
Mm.
Um, so just pretty cool stuff. A lot of all the Asbell books we have, and we're continuing to grow. We're adding more things daily, and we've got. I mean, almost embarrassed to kind of say we got a lot of the swag, the hats and t-shirts and coasters, things like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah, for sure. Now, was your son at the Indianapolis gathering?
you met him. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's Danny. You met him.
Danny.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so that of the 64-inch Asbell tribute bow, is it going to come in a 60-inch, or are you just going to leave it at 64?
No, we've got so many requests for shorter bows that we're going to end up doing it. Yes.
Okay.
Um, will the first one be 60 or 62? I kind of think it's going to be 62, but I'm not opposed to 60. Um, but we're also coming out with some bows that aren't related to the Asbell line,
Hmm.
a traditional woodsman longbow, and so we'll have those probably midsummer as well.
Okay.
And those will be a little broader. There'll be different lengths for that. And
Yeah, when I drew back the 64-inch tribute bow at the gathering, I was like, wow, this is smooth as butter.
very
Because
smooth, man.
64 inches, that's a great length. But tree stand guys like the shorter bows. I hunt 99% of the time from the ground. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, everybody wants a shorter bow, and that's okay. I hunt with some pretty long bows, right? I've got some. I think
mhm.
you and I share a love for Northern Miss longbows, and
Yep.
I've got some 66 inchers that they don't bother me at all in a tree stand or whatever. But it's it's what you're used to, what you want to shoot. Um, that's the beauty of traditional bows, right? If they don't fit your hand right, it's not
Right.
for you.
That's right. Well, it's like I was a massive collector. I had over the years, I've had hundreds and hundreds of bows. And my wife goes, you can't shoot them all. I said, I understand that. And then as I started getting older, I said, I started looking at the collection. I was like, I don't want to leave this. if something should happen, they won't know what to do with it. That's a
Isn't
burden.
that something?
That's a burden.
Yeah.
And so I
Yeah.
started selling off my collection. I'm down to about 50 bows now, but um, I still shoot them, some of them, most of them.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. When I on a Saturday, Sunday afternoon, usually if my wife's working, she works part time. If she's working, I'll just take three bows with me and put them out there in the yard, and I have a 3D range back there, and just I'll shoot 10 arrows out of this bow, shoot 10 arrows out of the other. And it's just almost like going on a date with three girls, you know.
I love hearing it. I'm the same way. I have three bows ready to hunt with this fall right now. And everyone says, beware the guy that has one bow, and that's the guy. I just can't do it. I have so many bows and I love them all.
Yeah,
I'll hunt with a shrew, I'll hunt with a widow, I'll hunt with my Northern Miss Raymer. I'm going to use one of my legacies this year, my Asbell bow. They're just fun.
yeah. I travel a lot to hunt. I don't really hunt in Florida. I
Oh,
just
really?
don't I don't like the woods. They're ugly. Uh, yeah, I'm from the north. I'm not from the north. I like the seasons. I like seeing oaks. I
Yeah.
like seeing all that. Mountain laurel, all that. So
Yep.
I fly up to Maryland every year. I've got a 500-acre permission farm. So my buddy and
Nice.
I hunt there. We go elsewhere. We do whatever we want. It's just fun. And
Yeah, that's wonderful.
you get to see the change of the seasons, the colors, all that stuff. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, I've got to have that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
October's my favorite time of year for sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, I just put in for my PTO at work. So the third week of October, we'll be up in upstate New York. That's typically when the chasing starts
There you
up
go.
there.
Yeah.
And then all the
Yeah.
callers, everything's on fire. It's just beautiful.
Yeah. Sort of loosely keep track, and I've killed more bucks on November 5th than any other day. So yeah, that chase time that's happening up here,
Yeah.
the end of October, Halloween, it starts really good, and then
Yeah.
just before gun season, it starts to slow down a little bit. And yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the bucks I have around me, those are all killed around November 6th, 7th, 8th. Um, but being that he's got limited time, my partner's got limited time because he hunts with other people and he's got trips planned and stuff. So I got to work around his schedule. Doesn't matter. It's a bad time hunting in the woods is better than a good time at work.
Well, we hunt around the house a lot, right? We have tens of thousands of acres of state land between my house and my son's house, and
Mhm.
so I'll still hunt. I'll hunt in the morning and do my day job the rest of the day. I'll just go do a 3 hour hunt in the morning. So we
Yeah,
get a lot of sets in the fall for sure.
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
Does your son bow hunt a lot?
he does. Yeah, he's better at it than me. He's killed quite a few deer with his longbow, but he's hunting with a compound right now.
Okay,
Um, he kills some pretty impressive public land bucks. He does a good job.
that's impressive. Public land is impressive
Yeah, he's
because
good at it.
there's a lot of pressure, and so you got to learn. I'm sure he gets deep in, really in there.
He's got some unique spots. Yeah, that dragging him out is a challenge.
Oh yeah, I would imagine for sure. So let's continue on the bow hunting thing. Are you strictly Michigan, or do you travel anywhere else?
No, I will travel. I mean, kind of strictly Michigan because between hunting around the house and I get up to Shoe Haven, usually once a year, and that's in western Upper Peninsula, Michigan. I spend a lot of time in Michigan. But like this year, for example, we're talking about a bow hunt in Ontario for bears, and my son and I just started yesterday talking about a mule deer hunt in Arizona. And so
Oh,
I'm not
nice.
adverse to going somewhere and doing stuff. It's just that I keep pretty darn busy here.
Oh, I'm totally with you. I mean, my wife goes, "Are you done traveling for the year, the hunts and stuff?" I'm like, what's the date?" And I have to, yeah, I'm good until October. And she goes, "Good,
Yeah,
because
there you go.
you need to power wash this, you need to do this, like the honeydew list." So,
Oh gosh.
you know,
My patient wife, she's a saint. So
well, the old saying, "Happy wife, happy life." So, and there's a
yeah.
lot to be said about that. It's the
Oh
truth.
yeah. Yep.
So, what's your favorite setup? Let's talk about your setups for hunting. What three bows are you
Well,
doing?
yeah. So I have I really like. I can't answer it with one bow, right? Because I go through phases where I really shoot well with a full size recurve, and I'll use like my one piece widow or one of these Asbell bows, and I shoot really well with that. But then once I get in the woods and get to hunting more, I really gravitate towards a longbow. And oddly enough, I jumped from a really compact shrew style longbow to like a Northern Mist 64-inch Raymer. And I if I had to choose, I'd say the longbow. Any longbow, just because for me it's the most forgiving, it's easiest to tune, it's the quietest, and honestly, it's the most satisfying when you
Mhm.
kill a deer with a longbow. Um,
Now, the
so
Northern Mist you
I,
have, is
I
it a takedown or is it just a one piece?
no one piece, and I've got a couple of them.
Okay.
And a couple of them are sprayed in Krylon because I know that I'll never get rid of them because I love them. So they're covered in Krylon. And Steve Trey gets a call about once a year from somebody says, "Hey, that guy on Facebook, he's got your bow all painted in green paint. Does that make you mad?"
Well, I camp with Steve and Dixie once a year at the Florida
Oh,
Traditional Bow Hunters, and we have a
okay,
hoot.
yeah,
So he'll start
yeah,
dropping names. And I was like, I know that guy. I know that guy. I know that guy. It's like 90% of my friends live in Michigan.
yeah. Oh, yeah. We miss him. He was here in Michigan, for
Oh,
forever. And
Ipspaming is what it was.
Ishpeming, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I think I'm one of the few people that can pronounce that.
You did a good job.
Well, he corrected me for 20 years, you know. So yeah, he
Yeah.
last time I saw him, he looked great. He killed that monster Cape Buffalo in
Did you see
Africa.
the videos? Yeah,
No,
that
I've
was
not seen the
fantastic.
videos. Where are they at?
On his phone, he sent me one from South Africa, and it's amazing. It's shocking, man. What a big creature.
Oh,
Yeah,
it was
what an
huge. I mean,
accomplishment. He
and he's
worked
a
hard for it.
big he's a big guy on top of that. So seeing him dwarfed by this creature,
I know it. I know
I
it.
was like,
We
wow.
talk about going down to lighter bows. He's a guy that refuses to go to a lighter bow, right?
Yeah.
I think he's shooting 65 pounds. He's got a bow on order with me, a 65-pound Bighorn Legacy on order. And
Okay.
he's lifting weights and he's as old as I am, and he's still hitting the bench press and doing whatever he does to pull those big bows.
I
So
think we're all about the same age. I'm 65.
yeah. Yeah, I'm 63. So
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Steve is like he's a beast because when we were shooting 3D, I'm like, how many pounds? Like, it was 83. I'm like, oh my God. And he's shooting it like he's drawing it like it's butter, like, oh my Lord. I couldn't even draw it
yeah.
back.
In fact, I said he's got a 65 on order and he wanted it heavier. He said, just make me the heaviest bow you can. And I'm like, it's going to be 65 because that's what
Yeah.
you're getting.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep it real. Keep it real for sure.
Hmm.
So, what of the three, what is your favorite go to your setup on bow and arrow combination?
Yeah. So there's a shrew model called the Little Favorite that I really like.
Mhm.
And it's kind of a semi-recurve sort of thing. It's very small. We named it up in Shoehaven when Ron was still alive. I shoot that bow really, really well. And I like carbon arrows, and I like I experiment with broadheads a lot, and
Mhm.
it's one of the reasons we're coming out with a broadhead line soon
Sweet.
here. But yeah, but I experiment with broadheads a lot. So to say which broadhead, there's so many good ones, right? I
Mhm.
mean, I have a ton of the old Magnus heads that I use a lot of.
Mhm.
As far as fletching, I've gravitated lately towards a four fletch, like a small four fletch feather, like a small shield cut, 3 inches. I have sitting right here. I have some banana cut. I'm going to fletch up some arrows here this week with four low profile banana cut feathers. And I don't use. I have some lighted knocks I've messed around with. I don't use them. It, I've never found one that I truly liked. And my bow is set up kind of minimally. I don't put a lot on there for silencing and things. Just a little piece, some wool strands or something. Usually I can get it
Mhm.
quiet without it. And that's it. It's that's the beauty of traditional archery, right? It's that simple, you know.
Is Henry the bowyer for shrew now?
So Henry Bodnick and Tim Cosgrove, Tim
Right. I
Cosgrove
know
from
Tim.
Custom
Yep.
King, right? Henry and Tim bought the shrew bows from Ron when Ron was still alive, Ron
Mhm.
LeClaire. A lot of that conversation happened up in camp at True Haven. So I was sort of in the room when a lot of that happened. And so Henry and Tim build all the shrew bows now,
Okay.
and the quality is phenomenal,
Oh, I know.
phenomenal.
I would love to get Henry on. I've never
Yeah, he'd
spoken
be
to him.
great.
How's his
Yeah,
English?
it's good enough. I'm so bad at talking to someone with broken English, but he works hard at not. So
And that's fine. I do speak some German, but not enough to have a conversation.
Right. Yeah.
And
So
probably words he
what?
doesn't want to hear. I went on a road trip back, God, 2015, 2016, somewhere in there. And I went on a hunting trip with four buddies. One of the buddies was pure German. So I was his passenger in his vehicle. So we drove to Illinois from Maryland. So that's a long trip. Well, I'm bilingual and I speak Spanish, obviously, Lopez. And he spoke German. So the whole time I would teach him Spanish for an hour, then he would teach me German for an hour, when I was driving. And it was
Right.
great.
That's
But by
funny.
the time I got home, I was talking to my wife in pure German. And she's looking at me like I had three heads. She's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" I said, "I learned German from Holger, you know, and
That's funny.
and it has quickly has disappeared as fast as it came in." But
I was stationed in Germany for almost 2 years, and
mm,
I could barely order a beer and a meal. I was terrible at foreign
right,
languages, just terrible at it. Um, but
Weissen,
I
Weissen, Weissen, give me a
yeah,
Weissen.
half a Weizen bitte. That's
Yeah,
it. That's about it. Right.
that's awesome. So, besides, well, we talked about your bows. What's your? I'm going to probably say whitetail, but your favorite game animal to pursue? Bear,
Yeah.
whitetails, what?
So I've killed a mule deer, I've killed a caribou, a couple of black bears, a ton of whitetails, and several turkeys. Um, Heck, I shot two pheasants yesterday.
Hmm.
So sometimes it's what I'm pursuing at the time, right? But if you go by hours done, it's whitetails for sure. I spend
Yeah.
so much time chasing whitetails. Um, you were talking about turkey hunting. Our turkey season starts here in on Saturday,
Okay.
and I'm looking forward to it. I love turkey hunting. It is so fun. My problem is you only get to shoot one, and it's a very short season.
All
So
right.
if turkey season was longer and turkeys were bigger and had more meat, I'd say turkeys.
Yeah, turkey
I
here in
love it.
Florida. I've actually they're running around in my front yard right now. They're scrawny looking. The
Uh,
Osceola turkeys, they're like lucky to be 20 pounds.
and they don't gobble much either, right?
No, they don't respond well to calls. But if
Yeah.
you want to hunt them successfully, you got to hunt the swamps. They love the
Ugh,
swamps, and I don't like snakes, and I don't like
that's
gators.
not for me. Yeah.
Nah, nah, that's why I don't
So
hunt them.
we got these great big eastern turkeys, and Michigan state land is just flooded with them, and
Hmm.
they gobble their heads off, and it's so much fun. It's just a riot.
Yeah, so I mentioned earlier before we went online, I was talking about the Mexico thing,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they've got some killer hunts out there for turkey, ocellated turkey, I believe they are.
yeah.
They're like 40 pounds.
What?
Yeah, they're huge.
That's huge.
They're tremendous. They look like garbage cans when they come through the woods.
Wow.
And I was talking to Gene Hopkins. I'm like, he goes hunting for turkey quite a bit, and he's been to Mexico a few times. I'm like, what do you do to get him back so you can get him taxiderms? He goes, well, we skin them and then we salt them down real good and put them in a garbage bag, and then that's how we bring them home. I said, doesn't
Wow.
customs give you any problems? They don't care as long as it's salted down and semi and frozen. They don't care.
Okay. All right.
All right,
Huh.
because
That's interesting.
it is weird. Like
Yeah.
when I shot my javelinas, I wanted to bring some meat home. They said it had to be frozen for 2 days, 48 hours before I can put it on the plane. I said, well,
Huh.
what keeps it from thawing while it's on the plane? Well, the cargo hold where they keep it, it's so cold, it'll never defrost. So
Huh.
that was great. But what happens is you get put in the hot seat by the TSAs, and
Okay.
it's almost like a spy movie where they have the hot lamps on you. Yeah, asking you all sorts of questions. Were you in a ranch? How come there's no dirt or dust on your boots? They want to know where you came from because you're bringing stuff into the U.S. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I didn't go to a ranch. I hunted in my buddy's backyard. Oh, eh, so what I did is I was smart. I went to the men's room before I went through TSA and washed my boots in the sink of the
Yeah.
men's room.
I think they'd want you to for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
How is that javelina meat? Is it good?
oh, it's fantastic. Oh my God. People think they're disgusting because they have that scent gland at their anus.
Yeah.
That's just a ward. That's a spray that they to get away from predators. Um, and I guess it might have some, I guess, breeding capabilities as far as scent is concerned. But
Sure, sure.
so we shot ours and we quartered them, brought the meat to the girls in the kitchen. Two Spanish girls don't speak any English. I was the interpreter. And that night we had javelina tacos or soft tacos, but they put a seasoning in it and with the red sauce with hot sauce. Oh my god, I'm salivating thinking about it now.
You're making me
And
hungry. Yeah.
yeah, you don't want to shoot a big pig, big boar. You want to shoot a nice sow. They're the
Okay.
tenderest ones. The big boars, though, if you want to get in the record books, that's I'm not a record book kind of guy. Um,
Yeah, I'm not either. Yeah.
so it's just, but it's very good. It's tender. It's like a white meat. I'm not gonna say it tastes like chicken. It just tastes. It's mild. That's I'll go there. It's mild. When you add the seasoning to it, that helps enhance it, enhance the flavor, and I think it's awesome. I mean, we have pigs
Yeah.
here. You know, I like the meat. I haven't had a good venison meal in a long time because I haven't killed a
Really?
good. I haven't had a. I haven't killed a deer in a couple of years.
Well, come on by. We got plenty.
I'm
So,
hearing that. I got, like I said, I got a lot of friends in Michigan, and I got one more year to retire. I was going to retire this August. Looked at the numbers. I said, one more year, uno más, uno más. And
Mas, yeah.
I like what I do. You know what I mean? It's like, it's one of those things like when I retire fully, I'll be busy with the bows because I want to
Sure.
start. I
Yeah.
want to start making them. I've got. Remember Jack Howard?
Oh yeah.
I have his.
The
I have
uh
his
the
blue. The Game Master Jet.
the game master. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
I
Game
have
master.
his
Yeah.
blueprints. His widow sent those to me after he passed because
Really?
I helped her out. He had 12 bows in the shop that were in various stages of completion, and she had nobody to finish them. That's money for
Really?
her. That's money for her. She needed that because they were
For
kind of like
sure.
living check to check. So a buddy of mine, Jack Millier from Georgia, contacted her. She goes, "Hey, I know a guy. He's young, he's ambitious, and he's a hard worker. He can do them. He knows your bows. He knows Jack's bows. He's spoken to Jack before, and I was a big fan. And
Yeah.
so she sent me all 12 of these bows, and I finished them and sold them for her, and gave her all the proceeds. She goes, "What can I pay you?" I said, "Well, just pay me for the shipping, and that's it."
Hmm.
Shipping's, it's not like it is now. It's crazy now. But and then when she got sick, she was on her way to go into a nursing home. She sent me a beautiful letter thanking me again and a package. And in the package was all the blueprints for his machinery and his bows, all the specifications. So
That's incredible.
that's going to be a hell of
Yeah,
a
you did a kind
retirement.
thing. It's
Well,
funny. I heard that story, but I didn't know it was you that did it. That's
it's me.
awesome.
So, I'm a firm believer. I'm a Christian. Um, Probably not as practicing as much as I would like, I should, but I
Sure.
believe in paying it forward. I do. It goes a long way. It shapes your integrity as a human,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
there's not enough of that in this world today.
Couldn't agree more. We talk about the karma wheel a lot, and just do decent things and decent things come back at you. I've had a tremendously blessed life. My wife's wonderful. We've been friends since we were 14 years old. And I mean, I hesitate to say it all because it sounds too good.
Well,
It's just
no,
always been
I
everything's
love
always been
hearing your
good. And
stories.
I just but I know it, right? And I appreciate it. It's a cool thing.
Roger, I've been with my wife, Lissa, of 40 years, 10
Yeah,
years
us too.
dating, 30 years married, and this is my second wife. She's my
Oh,
best
wow.
friend.
Wow. That's
And
crazy.
my first wife was complete polar opposites. I mean, my Lissa is still kind of a complete polar opposite personality wise, but she comes from a hunting family. She knows the illness that we share. Um,
Yeah.
and she's like, when hunting season comes, she's happy as a clam because I'm running around the house whistling and I'm happy because I know I'm going hunting here, I'm going there, and I'm going to be hanging out with my buddies. And it's just camaraderie is just everything. And she just loves it when I'm happy. And that's when I'm
Oh yeah.
happy. So
That's a cool thing. Yeah. We'll be 40 years married this July. And
awesome.
it my poor wife, I'm looking around the house right now. It's starting to take effect. Our house becomes a deer camp and she tolerates it, you
Yeah.
know.
So what are you guys doing for your 40th?
I don't know. It's July 5th. We'll probably just have family around. We live on a small lake. We'll probably just do something like that.
Hmm.
But we are going to take a trip somewhere. We need to go somewhere cool, like Alaska, or
Yeah.
she would love to go to Ireland. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. We talked about Hawaii. That's where we did our honeymoon. We talked about going to Hawaii. So I don't know. We've got to do something, but I want to do it right. You know,
Yeah.
and
I'm of this.
it can't be in October or November. So
No, nope. Well, that's a funny story because we have five kids amongst us. We have the Brady Bunch thing going on. So every time a kid got married, it was during the rut. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And I said, "You guys know that I hunt the rut, and that the rut is
yeah,
off limits. But what is going on
yeah,
here? Well, the wife, the fiance, all right,
oh,
whatever." So
yeah.
I sacrificed 5 years of my life, but I did kill bucks those years. So
Well, there you
whatever.
go.
Yeah, that's all that
Yeah.
matters.
See, that's the karma wheel I was talking about, right?
Right. I
Yeah.
sacrificed my rut hunt to go attend your
Yeah.
wedding, and when I got back, I
Yep.
killed a nice buck. So okay,
Yeah.
God
There you
bless
go.
you. So now
Perfect.
everybody's married, all the kids are done being had. Leave me alone, October, November. That's all I ask. I'm around for
I'm
Christmas.
I'm pretty comfortable saying out loud that I'm fairly worthless in October and November.
Yeah, absolutely,
It's,
absolutely, brother. My
but you can't count on me.
I have so much PTO built up. It's crazy.
Hmm.
I'm on my tenth boss in 3 years, and she's like, "Oh my God, how did you accumulate so much time?" I said, "I've been with the company almost 30 years.
Yeah.
If I don't waste my time. I don't take PTO for sick days. If I'm sick, I'll work. I'll work. If I'm missing an arm, I'm gonna work so long as I can go bow hunting." She goes, "All right, whatever.
Yeah.
You guys." She goes, you guys are weird." She's only like 36, so she doesn't know. But
Well, we are weird. Anybody that goes and sits out in the rain and just
yeah,
enjoys it, I mean, we are weird. That's what it is.
I've sat in tree stands. I remember back in the day when I did all day sits. The rut, sitting there for almost 10 hours. And I'm like bored as hell. My butt hurts. I'm like sitting there. I'm taking pictures of tree configurations in the bark, looking for faces, and then uploading that, or it's just weird. It's just I learned how to
Now,
take care. Go on.
can you still do an all day sit? Can you still sit all day?
No, no way, no
No.
way. I'm at my age now. 9:30 comes. I gotta hit the man room.
Yeah. I can do it. I can do it, but it hurts. Like that night, I'll
Yeah,
have leg cramps real bad and stuff. I
yeah,
pay for it.
yeah. I'd totally do the. If I did an all day sit, I'm not gonna say no. Because if I got onto a big buck, which I did last year, because I'm going back there this year coming, and I'm going to sit in the same spot because that's where I figured him out after a couple of days, and I said, let me sit in here in this one section that I was avoiding, and I went in there when the wind was right, and he came by me, but he came by not on the trail that I expected him, the trail I needed him to come on, but the other
Yeah.
trail paralleling, which was too far. It was 30-yard shot. There was no way in hell I was going to make a 30-yard shot with a lot of saplings in the way. But
Sure.
he's
Yeah. Yeah.
he's a 150 class 10 pointer, and I was like, oh, it's a New York State deer, easy 200 pounds on the hoof or better.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, this is one like the Benoits. They killed anything. They don't shoot anything unless it's over 200. And this was
Right.
for
Right.
sure. And he was full rut. His neck had to be as big as my waist, which is 38 inches. No, 40.
Hmm.
40. I've had a few beers recently, so I put on a couple inches. But yeah, he was a beautiful deer. You could tell he was probably around 5.5, and he
Man.
was on a mission, and he was just gorgeous. I took a picture of him as he was moving. He was moving through quick, and I was able to get a picture of. I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
Uh, just an incredible
I'd love to
deer,
see it.
beautiful typical, and then after he came through, a monster non-typical came out in the field to investigate what came through, and it was him. And that
Yeah.
buck turned around and followed that trail back into the opposite woods to go after his ass because they were going to get it on. And I
Yeah.
would have loved to seen that fight.
See, now you could sit all day for that
Yeah,
for
for
sure.
sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I was in a ground blind, which I made. I just dragged up some stuff and made this rough ground blind. Those deer never saw me.
Hmm.
And the wind
Isn't
was
that
in my
crazy?
face. That's just beautiful. It's
I
a
love it.
beautiful thing. Oh,
I
speaking
love it.
about eyesight, javelinas have the worst eyesight in the world. I mean, I stood in front of one 6 yards, and I'm standing still. It's walking around me. Didn't even,
No kidding.
and I shot it. You know, so
Yeah.
uh,
That's a perfect game handle for me then. Yeah.
yeah. As long as the wind is in your face, you're good. But
Hmm.
they got great snouts, and they will pick you off a long way off.
No
So
kidding.
yeah,
That's interesting.
they're incredible. And instead of tusks, they have these things. They look like fangs. It doesn't. It comes up like a fang, like a vampire thing. And they are part of the pig family. Everybody thinks they're not. They are part of the pig family, but they kind of they're more like a weird rodent, but they're not a rodent.
Yeah,
Interesting
that's
animals. These are
cool.
very interesting, and they have a very
Yeah.
they're very social. So when they come together at the feeder, there's a hierarchy.
Hmm.
So the big males, they're black and they look nasty as hell. They're the large ones. They come in and they circle the whole feeder area and they'll crisscross. And then when everything's copacetic, one's facing this, I call them sentries. One's facing this way, the other's facing the other way, and they make this weird bark. And when they make that weird bark, the others come in.
No kidding.
And then they feed. And then you can see the larger ones fighting with the younger ones for
Yeah.
space in the around the feeder. You know, they're temperamental, that's for sure, and they're
Yeah.
constantly fighting with each other. And that's where
Yeah, I
you
need
get
to get
the
down there.
that's where you get the distraction because while they're fighting with each other, they're moving around in front of you, and then inadvertently, when one wins the challenge, he'll stand there for a few seconds. That's when you shoot.
Okay.
They don't even know you're there.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah,
That's pretty
and
cool.
it can get hot in Mexico. February, we went. Did we go in March or was it February? It was that last week of February. It was starting to get
Hmm.
hot out. It was like 85. I got such a sunburn. I was pulling skin off my face a week later. Crazy. You have to
That's
be
something.
careful. And bring saline and Vaseline because it's so dry your nose will bleed. You will have profuse nosebleeds. So
Really?
yeah, every morning because you're at 5,000 feet elevation and it's
Okay.
dry. So every morning I would get up, and I learned this after the first year. The second year I knew better. I went with saline, and every morning I blow my nose forever to get everything out, and then spray the inside of my nose with saline, and then take
Right.
Vaseline on my pinky, and then line the inside of my nostrils with Vaseline, so none of the dust would stick to my nasal cavities.
Yeah. That sounds like a
It was a science project, and then when I come back after hunting, you know, I'm in the bathroom cleaning my nose out, and I would put I had a neti pot. I would wash out my nose,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and then that was it was great. I never had one nosebleed the whole time I was there. If you go to this place, Dick Bow Hunts MX, and I hate to bring up, it's like a commercial, but I had to bring it up because we're talking about
No.
javelinas. Um, they have a well that's 300 feet deep, so you can drink the water. You're not going
Oh
to get
wow.
Montezuma's revenge.
Oh,
And
okay. Yeah. That makes a difference. Yeah.
but just in case for the people that are wary, they always will have 3 cases of bottled water there at all
Hmm.
times and 3 cases of Modelo.
There you go.
So there you go.
That'll get you through a week for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. And make sure you bring sunscreen because in between hunts, you hang out on the veranda and get the old Hollywood tan. As you can see, I'm a
That's
little brown.
funny.
I'm a little brown here. Uh,
That's funny.
yeah. So whitetails, bear hunting, and it's got to be a staple there in Michigan, I would imagine.
Not as much as you think because it's a draw
Really?
only, right? So
Oh,
I've
really?
yeah, the bears I've hunted are up in Ontario. I've got I think 6 points for a whitetail bear or a Michigan bear,
Okay.
and I my we have a little bit of property up in northern Michigan that has bears on it, and I'm kind of holding off my points till I get closer to 10, and then I'm going to put in for that for a
Okay.
Michigan bear. But I've never killed a Michigan bear. Yeah,
Wow.
they're around. We see them, but they're just their draw system is pretty challenging. So,
Yeah, I've noticed that now in a lot of states for non-residents, namely myself, um, the point system is a real pain in the butt. Uh, it's crazy. I mean, I want to hunt a lot of places, but unless I can just go and buy a non-resident license, I want no part of it. So
right.
I hunt in
Yeah.
Wisconsin quite a bit, and so what's nice about Wisconsin, my wife's family's from there, is I can just go in and buy an over-the-counter non-resident license for like $215.
Perfect.
And
Yep.
I hunted there. I was hunting on an Air Force base a couple of years ago, and it was one of those. It was back when CWD was really bad,
Hmm.
and so you had to shoot two does before you got your buck tag.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm in the woods, and I passed up probably 15 bucks, and all of them were book bucks. before, and I was like, did not see one doe. And I'm walking down the road to get out, get to my truck, get some lunch. And there's a DNR cop in there, and he walks up to me. He goes, "Hey, can I see your paperwork?" And I
Hmm.
show him that my license. He goes, "Oh man, you came all the way from Maryland?" And he shook my hand, thanking me for buying the non-resident license.
Right.
And I said, he goes, "What brings you to Wisconsin?" I said, "Your cheese." And he didn't know he didn't know whether he was like, he was dumbfounded at first. I said, "Mars Cheese Castle is on Interstate 95, which is about a mile from here, and that's where I'm going for lunch."
There you
And
go.
he thought that was hilarious because
That's
how do you
funny.
know it? And I said, "Well, my mother-in-law lives down the road, and so
Hmm.
I'm here quite a bit. But thanks, brother. Thanks for your service." Oh, hey, by the way, Roger, thank you for your service too with the Army.
Oh, you're welcome. I didn't do anything awesome. I
I
was
don't.
just there.
No, you were a serviceman, so that's awesome
Yeah.
in my mind. I do get a lot of vets on here. I had a dude a couple weeks ago. He probably did 4 tours of the Middle East.
Wow. Yeah.
So
Yeah. The young guys coming up right now have they're the heroes. They do a lot. This whole Middle East thing for them for the last 20 some years has been
yeah,
pretty trying for some of those guys. So
yeah,
yeah.
it's becoming an ugly time right now, I think.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, I pray for these people every day. But
For sure.
so hey, let's get into something fun. I want you to tell us a little one of your favorite hunting stories.
All right. Um, gosh, can I tell you two of them? One of them's pretty quick.
You can tell. Take your time, brother. It's your time.
So one of my favorites is my son Danny when he was just 12 years old because that's when he could get his first deer license and he was hunting with a longbow, um, a bamboo backed Osage bow that Jerry Brum made, and um, we had a oak tree that was split. So there's two trunks and we had a tree stand in each trunk. So I was sitting there with him, and a deer came through a doe and he shot over her back. But while he was in the process of drawing the bow and getting ready, his right leg was jumping up and down just uncontrollably, just
Yeah,
shaking like crazy. And when it was all over, he said, "Does that happen every time?"
yeah.
And yeah, it does. But I guess probably one of my favorite hunts was a caribou hunt in Newfoundland, and I did it with the recurve, and we hunted all week long. We got close to several big book caribou and couldn't pull it off, couldn't pull it off. And second to the last day, um, we saw one at a distance, and it was I don't know if you've ever been to Newfoundland, but it's sort of like tundra, but it's like blueberries, right? So there's this like triangular patch of blueberries that was probably 2.5 feet tall. And at the fat end, it was probably 100 yards wide, but at the narrow end, it came to a point and this caribou was coming down the edge of it, walking. So I started, crawling down the other side, trying to get to one of the narrow edges where it's closer to shoot the caribou. Caribou are really fast when they're just walking, right? So I'm doing all I can do. I had a good head start on it anyway, and I could barely keep up. But anyway, it got to the point where we both ended up at that point at about 10 yards at the same time. And I shot it, and I I knew I hit it, but it just boggled my mind. I mean, I saw the arrow go in. I could still see it in slow motion in my head, but I just couldn't believe it, and it took off. Well, the guide had never guided a bow hunter,
Mm.
and he was used to rifle hunters where it just falls over. And he said, "Oh, you missed." I said, "I don't think I did. Let's go
No.
look." And there was, pretty good blood trail, and it only went about 60 yards. And but I was just so rattled when that happened. It was just a big. It's in the Compton record book. It's a pretty good caribou. It would rank up there pretty well. But it was just so huge. I'd never put anything on the ground that large. Right?
Now, this is considered a Newfoundland caribou, correct? It's got a lot of
Yeah, they're all
palmations.
yeah, woodland caribou. Yeah,
Woodland
woodland
caribou. That's
caribou.
it. Yep.
Yep, yep. And I went there because Asbell wrote a story about his Newfoundland caribou, and so he was, one of my literary heroes always, and so I went right to the same place he did just to do it,
Mhm.
and so it was fun. And then he helped me score it for the Compton record book. So
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah, I killed a barren ground many, many years ago. So when we moved to Florida, I had a lot of stuff. I had elk, I had bears. I was like, I couldn't bring this all here because I mean, my man cave is 12 by 10. Yeah, 12 by 10.
Yeah,
And my
right.
my
Yeah.
former man cave was like 60 by 40. And so I said, all right, what am I going to do with these things? So what I did is I donated a few to the local VFW that I used to attend.
Oh, that's nice.
So
Yeah.
they're hanging up in the bar, uh,
Yeah. You
covered
can
in,
go see them, have a beer with them. Yeah.
yeah, covered in nicotine, probably by now. Uh,
Right. Oh,
and
yeah.
then a couple I gave to my buddies. My moose I
Yeah.
gave to my other one buddy Jim. I gave the caribou to my other buddy, and the hide, and he's got that hanging up in his garage. So yeah, I can
Yeah.
see them when I come home to visit. I go to Maryland quite a bit.
Well, the moose mount is quite a commitment, right? That's huge.
Yeah,
You gotta
well,
have a
it wasn't a
heck of a
moose.
wall.
It wasn't a mount. It was just the skull, and
Okay.
I did a European,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that.
Still pretty large. Oh,
Well, when I saw the bill, the fee for full taxidermy, I was like, let's just do a
mm.
little European because I still live check to check. I'm not independently wealthy, but that's
Yeah,
okay.
no.
I like
I,
working, so.
my home has more European mounts than anything else that I did right in my driveway. I get it.
Oh
So
yeah, oh cool. How do you? Oh, you pressure wash them?
a little bit, but no, we I boil them.
Hmm.
And it takes a weekend. I boil them with borax and
Yeah,
some a kitchen degreaser, and then you just keep peeling them, and then eventually I do hit them with a high pressure hose, not a pressure washer because they get so fragile on a whitetail, they start breaking
yeah,
apart.
yeah.
But just a high pressure hose and clean it out. It takes a while. Um, and then at the end, I wrap them in gauze and soak the gauze with peroxide
Hmm.
and just put them outside for a little while and let them whiten up, and they really get white.
That's cool because I've done a few like that. Just I've
Yeah.
seen some videos on stickbow.com, leather
Hmm.
wall, stuff like that. And I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
okay. So right, like to my right, I'm looking at a bunch here that I did. Like here's a beaver I got.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, I did that same way. I said I'm not paying a guy to do that. And then what else we got here? We got a
Right?
bobcat.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I like playing with bones. My grandkids, when they come to visit, they come straight to the man cave. They're like, "Oh, what has he got in here?" They loved
Isn't
it,
that neat?
and they don't question it. They're not scared of it. They ask me questions. I'm like, "Tell us a story. Tell us a story. Tell us a
Yeah.
story."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's how they become sportsmen, sportswomen. Because I've got couple granddaughters, and
It
a
is.
couple of them are shooting bows. So I think, yeah, I only have two of my boys are the only ones that hunt, and
Okay.
it's just no. Actually, only my middle son hunts, Todd, but his son he killed his first buck when he was 9.
Oh
So,
wow.
and it wasn't really
That's
big, thank God, because once you kill a
You'll ruin them,
monster,
right?
you ruin him. He's hooked every year. So of course, when he
That's what
killed
I
that
said.
buck, his dad didn't shoot one. And of course, Thanksgiving, we're sitting around the table, and I said, "Hey, Jax, tell us about your buck." He goes, "Well, Dad didn't get one." I was like, "Ah, yeah, okay, had to rub it in. That's cool."
That's perfect. I
Yeah, he
love it.
actually today he's 12. He turned 12 today, so I'm excited for him. Pretty
Ah,
soon,
happy birthday. That's great.
his voice is going to change. He's going to sound like squeaky, like he swallowed a squeaky toy. That's going to be funny. I remember those days.
There you go.
So let me ask you a serious question. So, what's missing in today's generation that us old from versus us older bow hunters, knowledge wise?
Yeah. We came up kind of the hard way, right? Didn't
Hmm.
have GPS, didn't have Onyx and all
Oh
these
yeah,
things that we can use now. And I use all that stuff, right? But I think old timers maybe have a little more sense of woodsmanship, just how to move around through the woods and how to be there. Um, I think the biggest difference, honestly, and I'm not a trophy hunter, but I think I feel bad for some of the young guys that kind of watch YouTube videos and think that the big trophies are all that's out there and that's what you should be looking for. I've been really happy with shooting a fork horn in my life, right? And I think that's missing a little bit. Um, that's not to say the younger generation is a bad bunch of guys because they work hard. They're good
Sure.
shooters. They're open minded. They're investing in technology that we never had, and so why wouldn't they? It's
Hmm.
but it's as far as traditional archery comes, I think these guys now, the young guys are in the golden era of bowyers, right? You almost can't make a bad decision. There's so many good bows out there.
Hmm.
Where you and I had to sort through the bin at the hardware store for a good bear that wasn't twisted,
Right.
and so what's missing, I guess. I I admire that we came up the hard way, but I'm kind of glad they don't have to, right? I mean, as long as they spend time in the woods and learn why they're there, and
Right.
that's what matters.
I travel to a lot of shoots and I meet a lot of young guys, a lot of really young guys. I mean, oh, I'm old enough to be their grandfather, but I will talk to them and ask them questions. So when you see a rub facing a certain direction, what is your first thing you think of? And they don't have an answer. And they'll ask me, what do you think of? I said, I look at the sun. Which way is it facing?
Yeah,
Is this a morning rub or is this an evening rub? What's the direction?
yeah,
What's the wind doing? That's the
yeah,
things, that's woodsmanship skills that you have to adopt. You have to think outside the box.
yeah,
Um, when you see a track, I say, you ever measure it? No, track's a track's a track. No, it's not. Uh,
yeah.
look at the dew claw. Where how far down in the dirt is it, and what's the spread between the front leg and the other front leg, and then the rear
Sure,
legs. That's your
sure.
doe
Yeah,
and buck difference. Does will have front and rear legs are pretty much the same, parallel. Whereas bucks, of course, their chest is bigger, so they will be outside a couple
yeah,
inches and stuff like that. I mean, little things,
yeah.
but they're
Little
it's good
details.
stuff.
I think some of that it comes along. I was good friends with Ron LeClaire and hunted with him a lot, and Ron would tell you that he got most of his woodsmanship from trapping, not from hunting.
Right.
And he said he learned more about animals and how the woods operates by running a trap line than anything
I'm
else.
going to send you a picture of me and Ron. Last time I saw
Oh
him
yeah.
was at Denton Hill, Etar, prior to his passing, unfortunately.
Hmm.
But it was a great picture. I mean, he had his full garb on, the whole 9 yards. Hey, talk to us about Shrewhaven. So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
I've been seeing this picture. It's a group picture. It's an older picture. You know, um, all the guys that are standing on this porch. Are you one of them guys?
Yeah. Yeah. So, the main crew, it was Ron LeClaire, obviously. Um,
Right.
his first guys up there were Greg Nicolau and Ray Lyon. They were they're the originals. And Tim Cosgrove.
Hmm.
And then I got invited back in '99, I guess. And then Kevin Marshall was another regular. There was other guys that came in and out, like Tom
Right.
Jenkins was there a lot, and Tim Cosgrove brought his son-in-law a couple times, or a lot, quite a bit. Um, but that was the main crew that picture, and we're Ron's been gone a couple years now. Their families graciously let us keep using it, so we're going to go back this year, I believe. We're still working out those details.
Sweet.
Honest answer, it's not the same without Ron.
Of
You
course
know,
not.
he was. We had some lively times. He was a lot of fun, and but we've killed a bunch of deer up there. It's great hunting. It's Western UP is as remote as Michigan gets. And it's a primitive camp. They put a cabin on there that they saw for sale on the side of the road and just have it dropped on there. We had a generator, um, had an outhouse that we dig every couple of years, and great food. Greg Nicolau is a phenomenal chef, and Ray Line as well, and they'd make apple pies and wonderful food, and we'd gain weight when we were there.
So let's talk
Um,
about outhouses real quick.
yeah,
Have you guys learned about the styrofoam trick?
no,
Okay.
no,
So you go to Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever, and you buy, the real thick foam insulation that's for like drop-in ceilings.
yeah,
Okay. Take it, trace out your hole from the shitter, excuse my French, and
yeah,
then
yeah.
that's your toilet seat. That will insulate you during cold weather. You will not feel cold. When you sit on that thing, instant heat. Sort of like when you sit on the bags that are filled with styrofoam
Yeah,
at Walmart. Same
like the old
process.
hot seats. Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
beautiful. It's a
yeah.
beautiful thing.
We never heard that. No.
Yep. I
Yeah.
did it in New York State when we were my buddy and I were hunting in the Adirondacks for a week, and it was like negative.
Ish.
It was negative 29. I was like, man, we got to find something to do here. So
Hmm.
we had an old styrofoam cooler that somebody had cut up probably before us and made a seat out
Yeah.
of it. The lid, they
Yeah.
used the lid. It was fantastic. I was like, I didn't
It's
mind
funny.
going to the bathroom at 3 in the morning. You
See,
know,
right there's an art that's lost between the old guys and the young guys, you know, like I'm gonna bet you that between us we have a lot of hours in the outhouse, and
oh
bet you
yeah.
there's some young guys that don't.
Oh, I hunted in Virginia. I had a lease in Virginia, and the guys were jokesters there, so they put three corn cobs in the outhouse. One was dark,
Yeah.
one was medium, and the other one was white. So you had
Oh,
to. And it said the sign on the wall said you need to get to the white to be totally clean.
oh God,
But
that's funny.
that's crude comedy, hunting
Yeah.
camp comedy. But it's great stuff.
Yeah, we had True Haven was one of the best times of my life when it was in its heyday, you know. Absolutely. Just wonderful times.
Yeah, I remember seeing that photo, and I was like, man, that looks like fun. That looks like a lot of fun.
We, we learned a lot, right? Because we were usually there were 5 or 7 guys up there, and several of the years there was unlimited doe tags or multiple doe tags, so we would be tracking deer every night, and you might end up on 8 or 10 or more blood trails uh, in one week,
Right.
and we just learned a lot doing that. Right, it was fun.
Hmm.
We had some time that camp is real close to the Brule, which is kind of a divider between Michigan and Wisconsin. So we had more than once we had to have the DNR call across for us and say, hey, we got some guys from Michigan that are coming across trailing a deer that went into Wisconsin. And one of my favorite pictures, I'll send it to you some days. Us dragging a deer out of Wisconsin across the Brule. It's really cool.
The brule. I'm gonna ask
Yeah.
well, my wife's from Wisconsin. She's sitting out there watching Game Show Network right now. So when
Uh,
I'm gonna come out after we do our thing here, and I'm like, hey, have you ever been to the brule? And she's gonna look like at me like I got two heads, and I'll explain it to her.
she'll
But
know
that
it.
she'll know it. I know she will
Yep.
because her
Yep.
dad hunted all the time and fished all the time, and they spent a lot of time together. That's
Yep.
awesome.
Nope. She'll know it. No.
So besides, I met you at the PBS banquet in Indy, and I'll see you at the next one for sure. I hope you're there.
Yeah, for sure.
What other organizations do you support?
Compton. I've been a long
Mhm.
time member of Compton, the Michigan Longbow Association,
Yep.
Michigan Bowhunters Association, which is a historical organization. Fred Bear was one of the founding fathers, right? And
Mhm.
and so some really great men run that outfit. Um, Michigan Traditional Bowhunters, I belong to that.
Mhm.
The NRA, and yeah, as far as what we're talking about, that's about it, really. But
So I'm going to drop a
I,
couple of well, I'm going to drop a couple of names of people I know in Michigan, and let me know
mhm.
if you know them. Jeff Nowak.
Yes, I do. Yep.
Okay. Paul Newton.
No, I don't know him.
Okay. Huge supporter of the Michigan Longbow thing. Obviously, Dave and Tracy Belowski.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yep.
And how about John Cabiza?
I know that name. I don't know that we've ever actually shook hands, but I know that name. Yeah, he's around.
Brian Burkhart,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Jim
I
Eckhout.
know Brian. Yep. I know
Yeah,
Jim.
I could go on for an hour. So because
I
that's how
know.
many
I know.
Michiganders.
M-
Are you guys called
Michigan is
Mich?
like the
It's the
the
Mecca.
mecca of bow hunter guys.
Yeah.
It's for sure. Yeah.
So what are you
Um,
guys called? Are you called Michiganders or Yoopers or
Michiganders. So
Michiganders?
just like the goose, right? Michigander. Yeah.
Okay. But if you're from the UP Upper Peninsula, you're a Yooper.
And you're a Youper. That's right.
Yooper.
And they would call us a troll because we live below the bridge. So.
So do Yoopers have like what's the word I'm looking for? Folklore?
Folklore and their own accent, and their own language. Absolutely,
Yeah,
they
you
do.
betcha.
Yeah, Upers are some of my favorite people. So, like Randy and Cindy Gustafson, they help support Shoe Haven. They live right there,
Hmm.
and so they kind of help take care of the camp and things when we're not around. And I can just sit and listen to them. You talk about folklore. I can just sit and listen to them talk forever.
Yeah.
It's awesome, you know.
So
And
when
the
we go
and the
to
food.
Wisconsin, we go to Wisconsin and we're there for a week visiting family. When we come back, I'm trying to talk to my wife on the plane. I can't understand a thing she's coming out of her mouth. I'm like,
Yeah,
will you do me a favor and just drop the whiskey? Yeah, okay, let's get a Coke. and a coho.
Yeah.
Let's get some coho.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's
You
hilarious.
betcha. Yep.
Hey, a
I
lot
know.
of you betcha. Yeah. And I do that a lot too, because I just have fun with it. I just have fun. I love having fun. So, so Roger, what's in store for you for the rest of this year, 26 into 27 with your company, with hunting,
Yeah.
this
We're
camera,
coming
that
out.
camera?
Yeah, we're coming out with a broad headline, and we're
Mhm.
working pretty well. I'm using we very generously. My son Danny's working really hard on the broad headline, and that's pretty exciting for us. That'll be a larger thing. We just today started talking about possibly putting together a combination um, retail and storage facility in a small town here in Michigan. And quite honestly, most of that's for storage. But if we're going to have a building, so we're working on that. Our day job keeps us busy. We're pretty devoted to the Michigan automation
Yeah.
industry with building cars and stuff. So we spend a lot of time with that. Um, and then once October hits, uh, I'll I will be comfortable to be a woods bum.
Yep.
And, so I don't play golf. I don't play golf. So a lot of folks are hitting the links in June and July and August, and I don't do that. I work really hard in the summer, but
Yeah, it's funny. Mentioned golf, and I've been threatening to take it up because when I retire, I'm going to need something to keep me busy. But I think archery will be that.
yeah.
Archery will be that.
My oldest son, he is a tremendous golfer, Travis, and
Mhm.
I've always wanted to take up golf just so I could do stuff with him with it like that. But I'm just so bad at it, and it's just ugly.
Ta- Take him
I'm
bow
not
golf.
good.
Take him bow golfing.
Well, the sad part is he's not that much interested in archery, but when he does shoot, he's better than all of us. He shoots really well. So
Yeah,
it's funny.
that's the case. Yep.
Hmm.
It's like when I love sporting clays.
Yeah,
I love that. My wife loves it too. She kicks my butt every time. I mean, for some
isn't that
reason,
something?
women have a great eye for that. I don't know what it
Hand-eye
is.
coordination or
Yeah,
something. I'm
something.
actually, I have a new lab. And today's her birthday. Matter of fact, she's 1 year today. And I've been training her pretty hard with birds, on preserved pheasants. I have
Mhm.
a training membership at a local place. And so she's just a year old and she's already flushed and retrieved about 30 pheasants. And
Excellent.
so what I'm looking forward to is this fall, and this isn't bow hunting, but is grouse and woodcock hunting quite a bit with her.
Oh,
So
that's one of my favorite pastimes. I have not
yeah,
seen a live native pheasant in probably 30 years. Because when I
really,
lived, when I lived in Baltimore, they had pheasants everywhere.
yeah,
But then we had a massive fox population explosion,
sure,
and it decimated the
yeah, yeah.
pheasants. Uh, oh, I love woodcock hunting and grouse. I just love it. Oh my god.
It's fantastic. It's the best. I'm not real big on preserve hunting, honestly.
Mhm.
It's just not my bag. I'm not being judgmental, but for pheasants and for training a bird dog,
Mhm.
it's a great tool, right?
Absolutely.
And so, like, think about this. I mean, she's a year old and she's already retrieved about 30 pheasants. That'd be 3 years work if I didn't, if I was just chasing wild birds, right?
Oh yeah.
So anyway, that's one of our hot projects for the year for hunting
How
is to
about
bring her along.
that's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
So basically just white-tailed deer and bear in Ontario, right?
Yep. And I'm going to shoot a turkey this weekend, probably. We got a
Good.
good spot. So it shouldn't take me more than 2 or 3 days to kill one.
Good.
Um, and then, and for what it's worth, one large gobbler from here will make 4 family-sized turkey pot pies. So,
Ooh, nice.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So for bear hunting, a lot of guys have been talking about stick flingers.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a place that caters to traditional bow hunters. Do
That'd
you
be
have a
interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
do you have a place or a guy that you
So we went up to Wawa, and the guy that we went with, I killed both my bears with a rifle. I didn't kill them with
okay.
a bow. And I don't think we're gonna go back there. I'm going with Tim Cosgrove,
Sure.
this September, and it's kind of his hunt, his spot. So I'm still waiting on the email. It gives me all the details, but it's a traditional only camp, and
Mhm.
they do pretty well. So I'm excited for it.
I got a question for you. Would you think Tim would be interested in doing a podcast?
Absolutely, and he's
Okay.
interesting. Tim's a wonderful human being.
Oh, I
He's
know.
got a
Last
lot of
time
cool stuff.
I haven't seen him probably in 20 years. Last time I saw him, I was with Randy Dennell from Saxon Archery. We were at ETAR, and Gabi
Yeah,
was with him. And
yeah,
I hope she's still around. Uh,
absolutely. Yeah.
okay, cool. I'll reach out to him. He'll know who I am.
Oh
But
yeah. No, he's a wonderful guy.
if you could put a bug in his ear, that'd be great. I'd really
I
appreciate that.
will. I talk to Tim about, every 2 weeks or so. Um,
Cool. Excellent.
yeah, he'd be a great
So,
interview. He talk about archery, like True Haven history and stuff. He could really,
and
really.
that's exactly my mindset. I'm thinking because he's in everything. He's in a lot of stuff, and there's so
Yeah.
much we can cover. I know. I mean, I had Gene Wenzel on here a couple of weeks ago. Man, it was like a 3 hour conversation. It was
I
like,
bet
wow,
that was awesome though.
it
I bet it
was.
was.
I've had him 4 times on the podcast, and it's like
Oh
every
wow.
time I had to ask him permission to go to the bathroom because I was like, Gene, I got to go. I really got to pee. And he goes, all right, tell us a story, and I'll go. So he starts the story, and phew, yeah,
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
yeah. So
What a character
Barry,
those guys are.
well, Barry avoided me for years because I don't know what happened with Barry. I think he just is, he didn't understand my podcast. And
Okay.
finally, he saw that his brother was on here 4 times. He goes, oh, when he saw me at PBS, he goes, I didn't realize that was you. I said, it's kind of hard to not. I said,
Yeah.
Barry, he goes, oh, I'll come on. I'll do it. I'll do it. But I'm moving right now. I'm in the middle of moving. I was like, don't worry about it. No pressure. No
Yeah.
pressure. I will reach out to you. We'll do it when you're good. And
That's a
then,
pair of guys right there. Just sit back and listen.
oh yeah, I still have cassette tapes from when I used to write them back in the 80s, late
Wow.
70s and the 80s, and they would respond with a cassette tape with their
Oh,
answers.
are you kidding?
Yeah,
That's gold, man. That's
I know
awesome.
it is. And I mean, I don't have a cassette tape player anymore, but I could probably have it transcribed to as DVD or something or a
Yeah.
CD
Yeah.
with technology today.
You could. Oh, that's something. That's neat. Yeah.
And of course, they threw
Teresa,
jokes in there. There was jokes and stuff.
Teresa Asbell and I were just talking yesterday about Fred, and she and I had always wanted to, put him around a campfire and just let Fred Asbell tell stories. And we just never did it. You remember the old, like the Kurt Gowdy, Fred Bear
Right. The
album?
records.
We,
Right.
we, we just kind of had that in mind, right? We wanted to do that. And he just wasn't interested, right? Like he just didn't want to do it. And we
No.
were just yesterday we were just talking about what a sad loss that is, right? Because he had such a wonderful voice and a good storyteller and just a great guy.
Has he ever been recorded speaking?
Yeah, for sure. He did that. He published a tape. You talk about cassette tapes. It was a cassette tape of him just telling hunting stories, and it was wildly successful. I know Teresa still has them, and she will probably convert them to
She
be
should.
able to download them online or something.
That
And
that
then
would
he
preserve his legacy. And another thing, like Teresa, I've never physically met her,
oh,
and
okay.
I would love to get her on just to talk about Fred and the wool clothing line.
She would do it. That woman works harder than anybody in our industry. And I hate to say industry about traditional archery because it
It
makes it
is an
sound
industry.
business-like, but it's more of a family, right? And she just works so hard, grinding out. She sews half that stuff herself. She's got a couple
Right.
of sewers that work for her, but I mean, she's cutting patterns and doing stuff, and
Right.
it just works hard. I was up there 2 weeks ago. I picked up some more books and I dropped off something for her, and she's just in there working, just piles of wool everywhere, and she's just working. And she would be a very interesting interview. She's got a lot of knowledge. Um, she was very active in traditional archery before she ever married Fred Asbell,
Mhm.
and it was Teresa Wiseman, the Wiseman wool or Wiseman Frontier gear or something like that,
Mhm.
and she was making wool clothing for quite a while before she met Fred.
I own
And
quite a bit of it actually, but it's just not doing me any good here in Florida.
I can't
Um,
imagine. Yeah.
so I wear it when I go up north. So I'm on the plane. I look like Nanook of the North, and I've got it on, and I'm like, I'm dying. I'm sweating. I'm like, oh my god! As soon as I get on the plane, I start taking stuff off, and it's hilarious. But yeah, I'm gonna reach out to her. I mean, I was at the PBS banquet. I went to go. Meant to say hi and introduce myself, but there was every time I went, there was somebody there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's a hard worker. She's such a wonderful person. She's kind, generous to people.
Mhm. Yeah.
She's really somebody that you could sit down with and just get a lot out of it for sure.
Awesome. All right. So this is the fun part. If you're going to take yourself back in time, where would it be and why?
Ah, well, maybe because I've watched the movie Jeremiah Johnson about 100 times, and I was such good friends with Ron LeClaire, who was some kind of a reincarnated mountain man. I'd
Mhm.
have to say back then, right? Whatever that would be, you know,
1858, somewhere in.
1850-ish, in the
Mhm.
Rocky Mountains, and
Yeah.
when things were just simple. And I love that era. I've killed a couple things, the flintlock that LeClaire gave me, and I just think it's a neat thing, and that's what it would be. Now, that said, what's your longevity back then? You probably wouldn't have a big, fun, long life like I have today. You know, we all
Well,
we're in our 60s, we'd be dead by now.
well, if you think back to Jeremiah Johnson, okay, so remember
Right.
he came upon Hatchet Jack frozen in the
Hatchet
woods.
Jack.
Okay,
Yep.
that was 1858, and
Mm-hmm.
he says, "Whoever finds this rifle, and I'm obviously dead,
Mm-hmm.
take this rifle and kill more critters with it."
Yep.
That was
Yep.
1858, and it was a Hawken. It was like a 58 caliber Hawken.
50 caliber Hawken.
Yeah, that
Absolutely.
that I don't know if it killed a grizz, but it killed the one that killed him.
Killed the bar that killed me. That's what it said,
Killed
right?
the buyer that killed me. Yep.
So you asked about Sugar Haven. Ron could literally recite that movie, and there's a good chance that if there's bourbon involved, it would happen.
God
And
bless him.
it was just wonderful. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that'd be my era.
yeah,
Yeah. I
he was a wonderful man from what I
oh yeah.
remember, and because I thank God because I met him several times, and it was
Yeah.
it was it was a pure honor. It's an honor to meet you.
Well, thank you. It's honored. I want to thank you for what you're doing. I mean, this is awesome. Not many folks are letting small companies like ours or just you're talking about the Wenzel brothers. You're keeping that stuff alive, and that's just wonderful stuff, man.
I've got a
It's really
list,
great.
dude, of people to call and interview for the next several weeks. I'm booked all the way into June.
That's fantastic.
I do
That's
because I
fantastic.
was in radio for many years in New York for a long
Oh,
time. Yeah,
really?
yeah, heavy metal, and then I did some heavy metal shows in Maryland. There was always part time for me. It was never a full time gig. But I realized, I can't make Howard Stern money unless you're Howard Stern. So,
Right.
I had to have a full time gig. Um, but my background, my degree is I have two degrees. I have one, my main degree is communications, radio, broadcast, and engineering. And my other
Okay.
degree is mammalian biology. I didn't know if I wanted to be a broadcast engineer or to be a biologist, a wildlife
Yeah.
biologist. But then I realized they don't make squat for money. Those poor guys are suffering. Everything's on grants. I was like, no, I can't do this. I got kids
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's where that came back. And I got replaced by a Mac. I was working for a printing company. I was replaced by a Macintosh, working for National Geographic, doing graphic imaging
Oh,
with
wow.
with exposures, film, and chemicals back in the old days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
The Macintosh came into 1993. See you, Rich, you're gone. So I had to reinvent myself. So that's where I got
Wow.
into the insurance world. Um, and
Pretty interesting, though.
I've been there ever since. But and I said to my wife a couple of years ago, she got sick. She had a brain tumor, and she's great now. She's a rock star. So
Hmm.
I got to do something that's not negative because I'm a kind of a creature of habit, and I could become self-destructive. I said
Sure.
I'm gonna start a podcast. I'm going back into radio mode,
What a cool
and,
thing.
and
Yeah.
here we are, 166 episodes in. This will be 166.
Congratulations, man. And I think it's really neat and that you grasp like this is pretty serious technology that you're working with right now.
Yeah.
But we're talking about traditional bows. And I love that. It's some of the websites we'd go to talk about traditional archery and
Yeah.
things. We use all this technology, but we're talking about something really simple. The technology keeps that simple thing alive. I mean, we talked about when I got out of the army, I bought a compound and I hunted with a compound for about a year and I hated it.
Mm.
And then I started shooting my dad's old bows. One day I was in a bookstore and I saw Traditional Bowhunter magazine, and I'm like,
What is that?
there's other weird guys like me, And
Yeah.
in there I saw like Leclerc's picture, the Wenzel brothers, Asbell, and it took off from there. And shortly thereafter, I mean, the internet was a thing, right?
Mhm.
And it's just amazing that we keep a simple thing like traditional archery alive with all this technology. It's a great thing.
And my wife asked me, she goes, "What's the reason why? What's the real reason behind you doing this podcast?" I said, "Well, besides the self-destruction piece when you were going through your thing and I had to take care of you, and that's my job,
Yeah,
I needed to decompress somehow. And this talking to people is a decompression thing for me.
yeah,
It's keeps it real, keeps us human, keeps me grounded.
yeah.
I mean, I could, self-destruct at any minute, but no, I'm not doing that. Heck no. I refuse
No,
to. I refuse
no,
to.
life is too fun, and
Yeah,
this is
it's too.
awesome. I mean, this conversation is making my week, man. I mean, this is great
I'm
stuff.
glad. I'm glad. It's making mine too. I mean, because usually I tried. Well, dude, I had one with David Snide from Whiskey City. That
Hmm.
thing went over 3 freaking hours.
He makes those great videos at the
Oh
different
my
shoots.
God. And he makes fun of me in the videos. Go watch the PBS video. He makes fun of me
Oh, that's
deliberately.
funny.
Yeah, there was
That's
a
funny.
bronze statue, some dude with a giant mustache. He goes, "That's Rich Lopez." And I was like, "Oh,
Oh,
oh,
that's funny.
you're done, brother. You're done."
Yeah, he works hard, man. He does a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the most recent one. I think he was at the Racine Instinctor Archery Range up there, which I've been to. And
Okay.
it was great to see stuff that I've been to and touched and done. And then he goes to Mars Cheese Castle on Interstate 92 or 95. And it's just nothing but cheese. And I was like, I've been there. I buy cheese. I order cheese from there every month.
The
And I was like,
Cheesecake Castle.
yeah, it's great. And
That's funny.
my wife's from Wisconsin, so everything's cheese. So, as a matter of fact, I
Yeah.
think I have cheese in my dinner tonight. But at any
Not
rate,
dinner without cheese, right?
no,
Yeah.
cheese is everything. Cheese is good. Um, so excellent. So, how can folks get a hold of you and your company?
Well, our website, tradwoodsman.com or fixhuntingco.com, either one. They can contact us there. My phone number's on there.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm actually pretty accessible on Facebook as well. I get messages every day. I mean, you and
Yep.
I were communicating on Facebook Messenger, and so I'm pretty easy to find.
Would you mind if repeating the? Could you say the phone number?
It's 810-844-3010.
Excellent. Excellent.
And when they get that voicemail, it'll talk about strategic automation services, which is my day job. But just
Mhm.
leave me a message. It's me, and happy to call everybody back and happy to talk. And yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So, what's the turnaround now on the Asbell tribute bows?
It's about 8 weeks.
8 weeks. Okay.
Yeah,
And what's the required deposit?
not taking a deposit. We thought about that. There's only been a couple of guys that canceled once the bow came in. We put those bows up for sale and they
And they're
sell
gone.
quickly.
Yeah.
So
Right. Right.
yeah, I'm not comfortable holding guys' money. And I'd suggest let it be. It's fine.
Okay.
I think I might, sorry to tell you this, but I might start taking a deposit for left-handed bows because when we had a guy cancel the left-hander and it took us a little while to sell it, but that's okay.
It's probably me.
No,
But
it wasn't you.
uh, yeah. So now I'm going to go sweet talk the wife. I say, hey, we just had our 30th anniversary. I'm thinking of maybe a wedding anniversary gift.
There you go.
You
There you
know,
go.
and she's just
It's
going to
not,
shake her head. She goes, "You do what you want to do."
I can see your bow rack back there. I mean, you got room, so
I
you'll
know.
be all right.
I got a couple of empty pegs. Yeah. What do we got here? Let's look. Let's tilt it up. Yeah, I got a couple empty pegs.
Yeah, there you go. You'll be all
Yeah.
right.
And incidentally, all that artwork up there in the back,
Hmm.
that's me. I
No
do that.
kidding.
Yeah. Every year I do the artwork for the Baltimore Bowman traditional shoot.
Oh wow.
35 years now. And it goes on their t-shirts and they sell the t-shirts and all the proceeds come back to the club and they take care of kids and stuff.
Do you ever draw like the big silhouette targets for the range or anything?
No, not at all. Never done
We
anything like that.
There's a shoot up in Grayling, that traditional bow hunters of Michigan does it, and um, I didn't even know who it is, but somebody creates all the targets. They're big
That's
silhouettes of
cool.
moose and caribou, and they're really well done. They're painted nicely, and you almost feel bad running an arrow through one. But
But the fact that the person did that, they must love it. They must
They
love
do.
what they're doing for
Yeah.
for the cause.
Yeah. It's cool stuff.
That's fantastic. I mean, that's the thing. My retirement. I'm looking forward to doing retirement because I want to write
Yeah.
articles for TBM.
Yeah.
I want to do artwork. I just want to do a lot of stuff. I still have all my artwork saved on a disc. So when it all said and done, when I fully retire, I'm going to right to the printer, limited edition prints. I'll put it on my website. Cheap, cheap, but you can have some fun.
Yeah. I, I think a lot about writing. I've written a lot of articles. I I never finished college. I got out of the army and started going to college, and I was actually a journalism major, and I really loved writing and
Yeah.
things. Um, I started working and just never finished it, but I got it in my head that I could like write children's books about hunting and fishing and stuff, right? So I keep thinking about that.
I
And
think you should do it because, dude, just in our conversation tonight, I find you extremely articulate and intelligent. And I was
thank you.
like, that you have a talent. You
I
have a
appreciate
talent
it, man.
to convey communication and
Well,
information. So I think you should put pen to paper. I really do.
yeah, I think thank you very much. I probably will. Yeah.
Oh, good. I look forward to
I
that.
got a bunch of grandkids that would buy them anyway, so that
Well,
like,
they
wouldn't be a
shouldn't
lost
buy them.
cause.
You shouldn't buy them. Yeah. Christmas gifts, stocking stuffers.
There you
Uh,
go. Yeah.
so, Roger Norris, I want to thank you so much for coming
Hey,
on.
thank you. Absolutely wonderful. What a great day. Appreciate it a
We'll
great deal.
keep in touch, obviously, and I'll send you some pictures of Ron and stuff like that that'll make you smile.
I'm going to send you one. It's the first deer I killed at Haven, and
Okay.
me and Ron were both a lot younger. So
Yeah, I was a lot younger. If I grew a full beard, it would be as white as yours. So that's why
there you
there's no
go.
beard.
This
So,
used to be camouflage. Now it's a detriment. But
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. It's okay. You're still a good looking man. All right, Ron. Thank you
Hey,
so
thanks, man.
Roger. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Have a great day.
You
Bye now.
too.